Hi, welcome. We're live, yeah. And we're gonna get started. Welcome to our first ever live app update with our design team. We are so excited to show you what we have developed so far over the last few months. And let's all introduce ourselves first. I am Joanna. I'm the founder and creator of CartographR. If you don't know what CartographR is basically your personal AR pocket universe for tabletop games. With me today is our design team. We have Anna, Jane, and Becky. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Anna. I'm UX UI designer at CartographR and mainly focus on AR design.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jane, and I work as a UX researcher and designer for the game page.
Hi everyone, I'm Becky. I'm the social media and UX intern in our team. Welcome.
All right, and here is our agenda for today. We are going to talk a little bit about our journey from making the prototype to production. And then we're going to jump into all the awesome design updates from AR features to searching for assets to creating a game. A little disclaimer before we start is that the design you see here may have inconsistencies in them as they're not final and they were still putting everything together right now. We were also referring to all 3D maps as worlds because we feel it is a more accurate depiction. We will also have a Q&A section after the presentation, but feel free to write encouragement comments in Twitch to show your support. All right. We're going to talk a little bit about our app's progress so far. So for those who don't know, in early 2020, I started researching into how tabletop gamers use creative tools to play and how gamers learn collectively as a group. At the end of the research, I identified a gap in current mapping tools. Envisioning kind of the future tech, what's the future to come, I proposed a solution using geolocation-based augmented reality. I did some quick sketch, and then, CartographR was born. And then I started building the prototype for the thesis. For the prototype, what I was really looking for is a way to rapid test the technology, usability, and assets. For example, is this specific AR tool the right tool that would provide the smoothest transactions and interactions? Is the feature achievable? How detailed the 3D assets can be? For example, how detailed my 3-layered castle assets can be before it slows my phone down. I launched the Kickstarter a year later, and I kind of wish to deliver a full product by really enhancing the prototype I already have. But recently, I have to come to a realization that it was really not built for scalability, security, and accessibility. So with that in mind, the second round of production, we're currently transforming the app to a more production level. And today we have our amazing designers here to talk more about it. Our app sure has evolved a lot over the past couple of years. And let's first have Anna talk a little bit about the AR world creation. Take it away.
Thanks, Joanna. I'm in charge of the AR part, so today I'm gonna introduce the core of our app, the AR creation first. This part allows us to build fantastic AR worlds at your fingertips. As you can see from our app's main interface, you can access to the AR creation directly. Then you can scan your table or floor to start building your world in the AR environment. There you can search and add 3D objects to your AR world. You can move, resize, rotate, or levitate one or multiple items. Change the color, make a copy, or delete it. You can add the fog of war to cover your world partially or entirely. You can also move, resize, rotate the whole world as you want. There are so many functions, so we need to make sure our design is intuitive, easy to learn, and easy to use. The biggest design challenge is to optimize hand gestures and buttons. Buttons are straightforward, but they need some screen space to display and extra steps to activate. Well, the hand gestures are quick and direct, but you need to learn and memorize them. So we use hand gestures for the basics. Once you learned, you use them a lot so you don't forget. While the buttons for the more advanced actions, we group them with logic so that you can figure out naturally. We we also combine buttons with hand gestures to create better experience. Take the rotation design, for example. Our first version is one finger moving in a circle or two fingers rotate around each other. They work well in the 2D environment, but they are less accurate in 3D because it's hard to tell which axis you are rotating around. The second version is a 3 axis rotation sliders. It's easy to operate, but it takes a lot of screen space and looks overwhelming. So we have the third version is a creative solution using the camera angle to select the rotation plane and the circle slider to visualize the rotation degree. But rotation is less frequently used than move and resize. The bubble effect seems too much on the primary screen, and the circle slider is too narrow to touch. So in the latest version, we add a button to switch from the primary screen to the rotation screen. Use a box to signal the camera angle selection, and you can rotate the selected object with one finger by touching anywhere on the rotation screen. Another challenge is to balance consistency and highlight the differences. We put the most important functions of each part at the same location, the bottom center, to encourage people to try it first, such as AR creation on the main page, add object in the edit mode, add tokens and roll dice in play mode. On contrary, for the fog editing button, we move it from the top right corner in the edit mode to the bottom left corner in the play mode to remind people that the changes in the edit mode is permanent for the world, while the changes in the play mode only remain in that gameplay. Next time you reopen the world for another game, the fog comes back as what you made originally. Okay, I've talked too much. Let's move on to how to create a game event. Jane.
Thanks, Anna. I want everyone to take a minute to think of yourself as a game master and who is really short in time. Like Simon here, I draw out in the storyboard. Actually, Simon is really running to last minute. There's only 40 minutes left for him to prepare for his Friday big game night. So what should he do? Thankfully, the game page we're building in our alpha launch is meant for solving this problem and making game masters' experience of preparing games and inviting their friends quick and simple as possible. So let's take a look at how you as a game master can create a game within a few clicks in our alpha prototype. When you are in the game tab, simply click on the plus button at the top. Then you will be able to pick a name, select a cover, and add times and descriptions into the game page. When you hit the create button, this page will be ready to share with all of your friends. And as a game master, you will always have the editing access, so you can always come back and edit all this information in this page. In the game page you just created, click on the Add World to Your Game button in the thumbnail panel. You will be directed to our marketplace where you can find a ton of pre-made AR worlds with assets for you to use in your game. You will also be able to search by theme, filter what you saved, before as you wish. Once you find something you like, you will also be able to try it out in AR before you use it. Now, if you click Use this world, the AR world will be added to your game page. And you will also have options to show or hide those worlds from your players. Inviting friends to your game is also made easy in our alpha prototype. When the game is created, player or game master, they all have access to invite their friends through email, game link, or social medias. And as a player, you will be able to join any game simply by pasting the invitation link to the game page. I will hand it over to Anna again to talk about what it's like to play a game in AR world after you join.
Okay, now you have created a great AR world and set up game night with a group of your friends. Let's take a look at how we make your gameplay easy and immersive. As a game master, you can add tokens and assign them to your players and non-player characters. You can manage the automatic turns or dictate the turns manually. If you allow people to use AR dice, every player in your game can roll dice during their turn. There are basic dice you can easily swap to change, and advanced dice if you need to customize your rolling. We also provide range calculation, character animations, and conditions to enhance the game experience. You can also add sound effects to the specific game object in your world, or add background music to create an immersive atmosphere as you wish. For players, they can also switch to a life-size view and immerse themselves in your fantasy. Our end goal is to bring the functionality and the simplicity to you, but now we're presenting the complexity behind the scene. This is how we make it. We prioritize and map all the features according to the different types of users and their usage frequency to maximize users' satisfaction. Then we determine the layers, group the buttons, and carefully design the layout to make it easy for people to guess or remember where to find certain functions. For example, in the play mode, the top menu nests those one-time settings buttons so that you don't have to open and close the extended menu very often. The bottom bar hosts those frequently used tools you may need during the gameplay. Similar to the edit mode, the top bar is for the whole scene effect, and the bottom bar is for the object tools. I hope our effort will help you enjoy your game without being distracted by any usability issues. Now let's leave the AR world and go back to the app to see some other features we provide. Becky.
Thank you, Anna. So I'm going to talk about the app features. The first screen is the login page. You can choose to build your own account to log in, or with your Google or Apple account to connect with us. After login, the screen picture in the middle shows the homepage you're on. In some level, it's kind of like social media. So this is your personal feed. With swiping the screen, you can see your followers' posts and updates, and you can share your own ideas for sure. In the homepage, you can easily find the options you need, like the AR worlds you build, the assets you own, and you can see your followers' worlds and creative ideas as well. The last homepage functions with many flexibilities. Here, under the AR world, you can choose many and different world themes you're interested. For example, play in a forest to explore, play in a castle instead of the dungeon. And you can always find something more through the search bar. With key information, you can find more worlds which are built by other players or in CartographR. Then you can match the assets to your world, many objects you can select to put in the scene to make the game more vividly and lively. Also, if you want more, search with keywords in the search bar. And last button, people, on the homepage aims to let you can engage your players fast and easy. You can set the players in different groups based on different world. It saves time and makes the game more convenient to manage.
Okay, let's talk about some of our next steps. So before our real alpha launch, we are planning to conduct a few rounds of user testing and refine our prototypes as we go. We are planning to give users some tasks related to the key features we are really caring about, such as logging in, searching assets, creating games, rotating assets in AR, and we are planning to observe users' behavior as they complete those tasks. We are also planning on keep track of what common patterns users have so that we can pick we can pick a best route for them and what obstacles they might encounter to be avoided in the real launch, and take some success rate in order to gain insights for our refinements for prototyping.
Yeah. For tech, we are currently working on creating structures for future scalability and security, like we mentioned before. We really took a lot of time exploring different backend options and discussing the whole scope of alpha. For this version that's coming up, though, the alpha version, you will be able to create a profile, create and save worlds, and create and invite players to your game. The AR features include some basic AR editing tools, move, rotating, deletion, like the ones Anna mentioned before. And we have lots of future features planned ahead as well. So yeah, I would not bore you with all the technical details, but if you want to know more, definitely talk to me. We will be open for questions. So if anyone have questions, please put in the comments. If you, we'll wait for a little bit, and then we can chat a little bit more about our app. So while we're waiting for others to have put in questions, maybe let's talk a little bit just more about kind of like the kind of flow of how, like when I first come to the app, for example, I'm a dungeon master, right? What would I see first? We talked about the home screen, and then let's say I am running short on time. I need something really fast. Like, what are the most important features you guys think that's for me?
I think probably start by searching in the marketplace some of the pre-made worlds for you, because those worlds are containing not only the environment but also the assets, so that you can easily get started with like I think within a few minutes. And I think with the drag and drop and what we've planned out in our prototype, it could be a really fast run for you to kick off.
And if you have a clear idea what you want to make for your game, you can just go to the game page and create a game and add a word from there. If you don't have any collections, it will direct you to the explore page, and you can search there and add to your game and then launch the game, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, if you have no idea at all, you can just check the followers, look at like their world they built to have like a reference to build your own.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic. Another question I have is like, if I'm a player, what would I do? Basically, like what would I see? How do I join a game? Can you explain a little bit more in that?
I think if you are a player, normally you will get an invitation from the game master or someone else gave you an invitation. And there will be a shortcut for you to put in just by copy and paste the invitation, like what you do in all kinds of meetings and all kinds of calendar stuff. And there will be an entry for you to preview the game, and you can just click on start to join with your friends. Also, if you are getting the invitations through social media and all that, there will be a pre-made kind of a button set up for you to quickly join in the game.
What will I see when I join the game? When I start the game?
You will see the basic game information that the game master has already built for you. If he or she has the world already made, you will and he's not hiding from you, then you will be able to see those worlds and assets that are pre-made. But if the game master is really keeping it secret, you can see the cover image and the descriptions that the game master made.
And when you enter the AR space, if the game master gave you the permission to add your own token, you can find the button highlighted and you add token for yourself. You can search in the library to add your own token, and then you can roll dice to start your game.
Yeah, so there will be 3D digital dice rollers.
Yes.
Awesome.
And if you prefer to use physical ones, you just turn off the function, and it will save you more space for viewing the AR world.
Yeah. What about the turn management? How do I know whose turn is next, and how do I know? For example, we're in battle. There's often initiative happening. How would I know who to go first?
There are two different ways to know if that's your turn or not. On the top left, no, not top left, top middle place, there's a button to show the turn list so that you can see each player in a sequence, and the one is active, who is active is highlighted. That's one way. If you don't want to use the space, you can see the dice. If the dice is grayed out, it's not your turn. If the dice is bright white, that's your turn. Or if you don't use the dice, there will be a icon to show it's your turn or not.
All right. Thank you. I think another thing I want to address the teammates also, what have you been feeling the most challenging thing designing this app so far? And how did you overcome it? I know you guys talked a little bit about it during the presentation, but just for those who turned in late or didn't see it earlier, can you explain a little bit?
The biggest lesson I learned from this job is to think things in 3D. At the very beginning, I have the mindset of a 2D video game interface. So sometimes I forgot I can turn the camera to find the tokens, the items, or even use the camera to determine the rotation axis. So the first two versions are flat, and the later ones, I start to realize, oh, it's 3D, so move your camera.
Yeah, move your phone, right? So it's definitely that kind of like trying to figure out where my device is compared to what the kind of virtual assets you're seeing in AR. For those who are not designing in AR, Jay and Becky, what was your biggest challenge?
Um, for me, I think I'm going to say two. Like the first is designing the mobile interface to make it useful and um, like make it responsive as well as displaying the essential information for the players to see. Um, is kind of because you only have this limited screen size, you have to always keep in mind that you don't you don't bore. It's always a balance between displaying enough information as well as making it mobile friendly. And the second challenge is because I'm not that uh, big kind of game player, and I've never been a dungeon master before. But when I was designing, I really work hard on um, learning the games and talk with users and work with game masters to actually know what they need and design for them is the thing that I'm learning and keep working. And I think I will keep working on that in the future as well.
For me, I just want to say don't limit your imagination. So first of all, when I first learn something from cartographer, I see, oh, that's so cool because I only think maybe a castle, but when I see a lot of elements or objects in assets, I say, oh, maybe I can put something like here, put here. You know, you can just like create so many rules and so many maps and the different themes for your story. So when you have this application, don't limit your imagination and as creative as you are. So it's not a challenge, and I see it's kind of like an encouragement.
Yeah, I really think everyone was like very creative, and I can see your creative from the D&D game we played, that one shot game to get you
I'm
guys
the
into the
wolf girl.
mindset. Yeah, apparently, yeah, everyone. So for those who don't know, everyone in our party independently came up to be a elf. Like we didn't talk to each other. We just chose a random race and class, and somehow everyone was a different kind of elf. So we're like an elven party going through this one shot that Max Hobbs, our dungeon master, did the adventure for us. So it was a very interesting. Like even for some of you guys who were first time playing, you were like immediately jumped in and started saying, "Oh, I would do this. I'll befriend the guard. I'll befriend the wolf. I'll do this and that." So you really immediately took initiative, even without telling you, "Oh, please do so," because I do see that a lot of new player have that kind of like issue of trying to get into the character, and you guys definitely are very creative people. Yeah, so I'm really grateful to be working with each of you on this project, and it has been awesome so far. Yeah, so we can't wait to give you more in the future. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we are coming to close to our half-hour mark. We're going to kind of close the floor, and this video will be on YouTube. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment on our YouTube channel as well when the video is up. We'll always be answering. For us, please follow us on Instagram, on Twitter. You would think I would have prepared this slide that with all the following, but I don't. So I will type it in the comments. So you can follow us on Instagram at CartographR_AR, and you can also follow us on Twitter and all the other platform, except Facebook is Cartographer DND because we could not get Cartographer AR for some strange reason. So definitely follow us and check us out. We are hoping I some the timeline we're hoping to have it by the end of the year, some kind of alpha version. I cannot promise. I'm not promising because there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of tech still need to be implemented. What you have seen today is just a glimpse of the features we're constantly thinking and developing and designing. Not all of them are implemented, and not all the features are in the app, but we are going to be in the app for the alpha. But we do wanted to show you what we have in mind for the future. Yep. So thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to end our broadcast now. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.